Hey guys, it is so good to be here with y'all tonight. Like Chris said, I'm Mirabelle. I'm a sophomore here at Crossroads Students. And I want to talk to you guys tonight about a question that I have found myself asking God a lot throughout my life. And I want to start by saying that God actually loves when we ask questions. He asks us to come to us with our confusions and our doubts. So I think he rejoices every time we ask a question. So I'm pretty excited to dive into this one with you tonight. We're going to be diving into John chapter 9 tonight. The verses that we're going to read are set when Jesus, who is the Son of God, was on earth, and he's talking to his disciples. His disciples were they were his crew, they were his people, they were his best friends, and they were his most trusted inner circle, and they were people who he was constantly teaching. And we're going to see that even they ask questions of God. So we're going to start in verse 1. Sorry, guys. John chapter 9, verses 1 and 2. As Jesus was walking along, he saw a man who had been blind from birth. Rabbi, his disciples asked him, why was this man born blind? Was it because of his own sins or his parents' sins? That right there is the question I have found myself asking God countless times throughout my life. Why? Why was I born blind? Why am I going through this? Sharing a little bit of my story, I've struggled my entire life with my mental health. I've struggled with multiple different mental health disorders, and I've in the trenches of anxiety and depression when another hard thing has happened, when I've been feeling overwhelmed, so overwhelmed I felt like I couldn't go on, when I felt like I was hopeless and like there was no future for me, I found myself asking this question of God. God, why? Why is this happening? Why do I have this blindness, this ailment, this challenge? Was it because of my sins? Is it a punishment for my brokenness, the bad things I've done? Or is it my parents' sins? I found myself sometimes asking God, am I a punishment for my parents' sins that they received this broken daughter? Mental health disorders run in my family. And so I found myself asking God, is this because of the sins of those who came before me? Am I being punished because of their sins? I found myself feeling so alone. I felt like God was against me, even like he hated me, like he had no plan for me and was inflicting these things to me on purpose. I got to a severely low point where I was even asking God to take my life because I felt like he was so against me. And I want you to know that if you're there, you're not alone. I've been there. There's other people. I can attest to the fact that there's other people who have been there. And not only that, but God is with you there. And I just want you to know that first and foremost. So if these bad things aren't happening to us as punishments, why are they happening? We live in a broken world. And actually, God is incredibly righteous and incredibly just. And he's fair. So he actually does punish every sin. Do y'all want to know how he punished yours? He sent his son to live a perfect life and die the death of a criminal and a sinner willingly on the cross to take away your punishment. You are now called blameless. You are now called forgiven. You are now called loved. And not a single thing that has happened to you is a punishment. Those bad things that are happening to you, that hurt that you're experiencing, the struggle that you're fighting through, the mental health battle you're fighting, that relationship that's hurting you, whatever it is, that's not from God. Not only is it not from God, he promises to walk through it with you because he's a good father and he's your best friend, and he's really good at both of those roles. We live in a broken world, broken things happen. So these things aren't punishments. Why are they happening? Well, that's exactly what Jesus' disciples asked him, and he answers it in John chapter 9, verse 3. It was not because of his sins or his parents' sins, Jesus answered. This happened so the power of God could be seen in him. So these bad things aren't happening to you because of God. They're happening to you because we live in a broken world, and God is walking alongside you with them. And not only that, he's going to showcase his power and his glory through them. He's going to take the worst thing that happened to you and bring glory and beauty through it. Because of my mental health struggles, I'm now a more empathetic person. I'm now standing up here on stage today sharing my story with you, not because of my power. My power looks like me crying alone in my room at night, feeling more lonely and more depressed than I ever have. But by God's power, I'm talking to you guys tonight. I feel like surrounded by a community of people who love me, and I feel like I'm stepping into a purpose like I've never felt before. None of that was my power. That was all the power of God. So what would happen if you started living every day, walking out every step of your life, taking every challenge, every ailment, every blindness, every struggle, as if it is something that God can bring glory from, that God can show his power from? I think that can really change our outlook and the way that we can change the world. And a little spoiler alert for you guys, a couple verses later, Jesus heals this man. And he has healing coming for you too when you're ready to accept it.